gentlemen, now from wanting to destroy the uranium, now Donald Trump wants to destroy human civilization, and he wanted to change the regime. Now he wants to change civilization. He wants to destroy civilization. He doesn't like civilization. Essentially, he's anti-civilization, and he had also said that the regime would change, the uranium would come back, and the Strait of Hormuz would be open. Now he doesn't want to talk about the Strait of Hormuz. He says, I don't like any country which has a 5,000, 6,000-year-old civilization, because America is only 200 years old. So we don't have a civilization, nobody must have it, and that's the way the war is headed. Now, can you end civilization? I don't know. But could you end the regime? Well, you promised you would. You promised you would. Tonight, he says, everything in Iran is going to be finished. Everything in Iran, he says today, will be destroyed tonight. I have with me Milad Rabbani, former Iranian diplomat. Milad, thank you for joining us, Mr. Rabbani. And we have with us Mohammad Khatibi, Iranian broadcast journalist. He's joining us live from Tehran. And we have Professor Hussein Bakci. He's a professor of international relations in the Middle East Technical University in Ankara, in Turkey. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Professor. Ryan Amiri is founding leader of the Conservative Party of Iran. He's pro-Raza Pahlavi, and he's joining us from Ankara. Salman Sima is an Iranian activist who is against the regime. He's joining us from Toronto. And Matthew Foldy is editor-in-chief of the Washington Reporter. Thank you very much, Matthew. Now, first, I want to start with you, Milad. What do you think he's going to do? He says, I'm going to destroy the civilization. There is not going to be anything left after tonight. You know, this sounds like a nuclear threat, a super nuclear threat to me, because, you can never predict what Trump will do. But it also very often happens that after all of this, he chickens out, and tomorrow morning he'll say, I changed my mind. Where do you think things are placed right now, Mr. Rabbani?
Thank you, Mr. Arnab. Thank you for having me. I believe Trump is sending contradiction messages, and he is very professional in playing with this stuff. As you correctly mentioned, making a civilization is not something that happened at one night and can be destroyed at one night. Iranians are proud of their history and civilizations, and actually what Trump is going to do tonight is bombarding the infrastructures, and his message, his words of civilization is ambiguous, full of ambiguity, and it needs to be clarified. What does he mean by destroying a civilization? We are in I believe, in the peak of a war that we can say the war with ridiculous commitments. From one side, Trump with this ridiculous and stupid comments, and from the other side, of course, the Pezeshkian is not a normal person, of course. We should ask Pezeshkian, from where you find these 14 million people? When there is a manipulated election in Iran, even the government, when they announced less than 20 in the last, I'm talking about the last election, it was around 20 million people who attend in this election. Attending in the election is the easiest way for a political activity and political participation. So how you can find 14 million to devote themselves and to give their lives for this regime? No, I believe it's a lie from Pezeshkian. Of course, in the other hand, we have Trump with this stuff. Trump believed with airstrike he can defeat Iran, but Iranian regime knows how to take this as advantage and to use it to provoke people, the gray people, the people who are not very actively engaged in the political affairs. And I think Trump is underestimating this part.
Break it. I have just got breaking news here that just came in that Iran has just cut off all diplomatic channels, all back-channel mediation, all back-channel diplomacy, all attempts. Iran has cut off completely right now, and Trump is saying that tonight is the night when I will end Iranian civilization. Right? How do we read this? We're trying to analyze this tonight. Matthew Foldy, this is the latest breaking news. Iran has cut off all diplomatic and indirect channels of communication with the United States of America. How will Trump go about destroying Iranian civilization now?
Well, great to be back with you. And honestly, I mean, we have very different definitions of victory, which Trump has clearly achieved, and of civilization. Persia, obviously, great civilization that has been destroyed and run into the ground by the terrorist regime of Iran for the past 47 years. That's what I think, to the extent there's a civilization destruction happening tonight, that's what Trump is referring to. And look at what's going on in America. Arnab, you're saying we have no civilization. We just sent humans, including one Canadian, but 3 Americans, further into outer space than anyone in human history has done before. We did that a couple days ago. We just owned the Iranians in their own country, building a temporary airstrip to mount a cinematic rescue mission while the Iranian regime was saying, we're going to empty our coffers. We're going to pay $60,000 to anyone who can capture this American. Our CIA was putting out endless misinformation to have the Iranians look in the wrong part of their country. Meanwhile, what have you got? You've got Iran. Arnab, you just said they've cut off diplomatic relations. They're run by a gay cardboard cutout.
What happened? Just sorry to interrupt. See, the thing is this, that it was nobody else but Donald Trump who said that the only thing that we need to achieve is regime change. That is the only thing, right? And the only thing we are fighting for is regime change. And he's been talking about this since a long time, and most recently since 2019. He said that we need to do regime change. And you killed Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, and there is no regime change. And now you're saying that you're shifting the goalpost, saying that I don't want to talk about regime change because it has not happened. I need to talk about civilization. Now, it's not making any sense to me. What is?
But goalposts, obviously.
I want to understand what you mean by ending of civilization. Are you saying that bombing bridges or power plants is ending civilization? Or is that Trump's understanding?
But that's what I'm referring to as the difference between the current terrorist regime. And by the way, Trump has killed, I think, for the top 42 leaders of Iran. I'm not sure what regime change would be defined as, but it's very rare in any war, as we talked about last week, for one side to mount.
What if you wake up tomorrow morning and you find that Iran is still around as a country, it still has a civilization, it still has a history, it still has a proud people?
Absolutely, I hope it comes
nothing
back
changes.
to the
Then what will you want? Then what will Trump do? He will say, I'll do this for one more night. I couldn't end Iranian civilization tonight, I will do it tomorrow night. Is that the way it works?
Well, first off, it's going to be tough to know what even happens in Iran because you've got a country that says we have 15% of our people ready to die as human shields. The rest of the country that they haven't gunned down in the streets for
No, but America gets panicky when there is a forest fire.
Has no internet.
No, 1 minute. See, all of America goes into absolute panic when there is a forest fire. And here is a country which you've been bombing and saying owning and destroying. And his favorite word, obliterating, but they're still not going away. Now you're saying, I can't finish the country, I've got to finish their civilization. It's looking absolutely tragicomic out here, Matthew. You know it, Matthew. It's not looking good because he's changing what success means. When you keep changing what success means, it means there is no success. And yesterday he said, I don't want to leave. I don't know if you read the words. He said, I don't want to leave. I want the oil. But is that right, Professor Bagchi? He said, I don't want to leave. But the people of America want me to get out of there. Wasn't that what he said, Professor Bagchi?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Arnab. First of all, I have to correct. I'm neither against America nor against the regime. I give my objective view. If you can interpret it as you wish, but I'm neither against nor for regime or America, first of all. The second point, what I would like to say is here, of course, it is very difficult for America to change the regime in Iran at the moment because there is a big mobilization of the people. I would say even more than 14 million people in this respect. As Wali Nasser said recently, what the American strategy failed is to calculate the resistance of the Iranian people. The Iranian people are defending their country. And according to Article 2 and Article 51 of the United Nations, America is in this respect the aggressor. So if you read the articles of United Nations, then you understand what it means. On the other hand, of course, America has the power, and I said this in Turkish television, I am concerned that America can use tactical nuclear weapons. Otherwise, this getting off the Iranian civilization or making it go to Stone Age is only possible using nuclear weapons. And this is a very dangerous statement. And after Hiroshima and Nagasaki, probably it could be the second one. I do not trust anymore the American administration in this respect, because we, even here in Turkey, we are also concerned how America is going to act if they cannot get the country under their control militarily. Iran is very difficult to get militarily under control. So many empires in the past have tried it, and Iran, Persia was always there. So what Donald Trump and his administration probably made a mistake, that they were following the Israeli policy. And this is true that since 47 years, Americans negotiate with Iran. Israel is against Iran. This is all true, but to have a rhetoric like now that a civilization will be taken out of this world, it is very.
Why are you talking about tactical nuclear weapons, Professor? Because the other way of looking at it, isn't it, that Trump is only a talker. Trump is only a talker.
No, he's still president. He's still president. He can give the order.
He's president, he can. But if he uses tactical nuclear weapons, then there'll be a huge impact on America. There's going because you see, this is not a world war. This is a war in which the world has said to Trump that you're alone. We are not going to have anything to do with you. He has no allies. He does, except Israel. There is not a single ally in the world, right? And using tactical nuclear weapons will be a greater signaling of defeat and and could lead to counterstrikes.
Yeah, Mr. Arnab, never ever before we had listened or heard from any American president such a threat. You know, if you say 40 times to somebody that you are ill, the guy will start to believe that he is ill. This rhetoric that is destroying Iran, it is not only limited to Iran, of course.